I was 24 years old the first time I learned that sometimes the worst thing you can do as a police officer is answer the call. I'm retired now, been retired almost 15 years. Most nights from the job have blurred together traffic stops, domestic disputes, drunks, break-ins, the kind of things you think you'll remember forever when you're young, but eventually they all start bleeding into each other. But there's one night I still remember perfectly. I remember the road, I remember the house, and I remember standing on that porch, staring into a doorway I almost walked through. I still think about what would have happened if I had. It was sometime after 2 in the morning. I was working nights back then in a small county department where, depending on where you were, another officer could be 15 or 20 minutes away. It had been a quiet shift. Too quiet. I had my cruiser parked on the shoulder of a back road, engine idling, heater running, trying not to fall asleep. I'd probably been sitting there 20 minutes when the radio startled me awake. Unit 14. I grabbed the mic. 14, go ahead. The dispatcher sounded different than usual, not panicked exactly, but urgent. We have a possible break-in in progress. Female caller with 2 children inside the residence. Caller states someone is attempting to enter the home. I sat upright. Any weapons? Unknown. Caller says power to the residence has gone out. She's locked herself and the children in an upstairs bedroom. I pulled onto the road. Address? She gave it to me. I knew roughly where it was, but not the house. It was way out past the edge of town. Then the dispatcher added something that made me push the accelerator a little harder. She says she can hear glass breaking downstairs. Copy. Start me another unit. Already notified. I can still hear her voice saying that. Already notified. I drove with my lights on, but no siren. There wasn't anyone on those roads at that hour anyway. A few minutes later, dispatch came back over the radio. 14. Caller says the subject may be inside now. I remember gripping the steering wheel harder. Any description? Negative. She hasn't seen him. Says she can hear movement downstairs. Him? There was a pause. Then dispatch corrected herself. Unknown subject. I didn't think much about it at the time. I asked if the caller was still on the line. She's whispering now, says she can hear something near the stairs. Something, not someone. That bothered me. I asked again for my backup's location. No response. I figured dispatch was busy talking to the caller. The GPS eventually told me I was approaching the address, but there was no house, just woods, dense woods on both sides of the road. I slowed down and checked the numbers on the mailboxes as I passed. Then I saw a small opening in the tree line. No mailbox, no sign, just a dirt path disappearing into the woods. My GPS told me to turn. I remember actually saying out loud, "You've got to be kidding me." The moment I turned onto that road, I felt uncomfortable. I don't mean scared, not yet. Just that feeling you get when you know you're somewhere you shouldn't be. The road was barely wide enough for the cruiser. Tree branches hung over it from both sides, and there were no street lights, no houses, no porch lights in the distance. Nothing. Just my headlights cutting a tunnel through the darkness. The farther I drove, the worse the road became. Mud, deep ruts, branches scraping along the side of the cruiser. I remember thinking about that woman upstairs with her kids, imagining them hiding in some bedroom while somebody moved around beneath them. That was what kept me going. Finally, the trees opened up, and there it was, the house. I stopped the cruiser. For maybe 30 seconds, I didn't move, because something was wrong. The house looked abandoned. Not recently abandoned, I mean abandoned. The roof sagged in the middle. Parts of the siding had fallen away. The porch leaned slightly to one side. Vines crawled up the walls, and the grass surrounding the house was almost waist-high. Several windows were boarded. The ones that weren't were black. There wasn't a single light inside. I checked the address again. Same place. I radioed dispatch. 14 on scene. Nothing. I waited. Dispatch. 14. I'm on scene. Static. That wasn't unusual that far out, so I didn't immediately worry. I looked at the house again. I remember thinking maybe there was another residence farther down the road. But the dirt path ended right there. This was it. I killed my headlights for a second. I don't know why I did that. Maybe I wanted to see if there was light coming from anywhere else. The moment they went out, I turned them back on. The darkness was complete. I could barely see beyond the hood of the cruiser. I sat there for another minute. Then I got out. The engine stayed running behind me. I drew my flashlight and started toward the house. Every instinct I had was telling me that the place was empty. But if there was even a chance somebody was inside with children, I couldn't just leave. Halfway through the yard, I heard something snap in the woods. I stopped, turned, shined my flashlight toward the trees. Nothing. Sheriff's office. My voice disappeared into the woods. No answer. I waited. Then another snap. Farther away this time. I told myself, deer, raccoon, anything. I kept moving. When I reached the porch, I noticed how rotten the boards were. Some of them bent under my weight. There were 2 windows beside the front door. I walked over to one and tried to look inside. The glass was coated in years of dirt. There was a curtain hanging behind it, faded almost white, partially drawn. I pressed my flashlight against the glass. All I could make out was old furniture, dust. A chair tipped over in the corner. Nothing moved. I listened. No crying, no footsteps, no children, nothing. I walked to the front door. Sheriff's office! Still nothing. I raised my hand and knocked. The first knock pushed the door open. Slowly, it creaked inward maybe 6 inches and stopped. I froze. There was nothing but darkness on the other side. I put one hand on my weapon and used the other to push the door a little farther. The smell that came out of that house was old. Wet wood, mold, dust. Not the smell of a home anyone had been living in. I shined the flashlight through the doorway. There was an entry hall, a staircase, furniture covered in sheets, dust so thick I could see my own footprints forming where I had stepped near the threshold. That was when something clicked. There were no footprints inside, no broken glass, no signs anyone had forced their way into the house, no signs anyone had been there at all. Then I heard another branch snap behind me. Close, very close. I spun around. My cruiser was maybe 40 yards away. Headlights pointed directly toward the porch. The glare made it impossible to see past the edge of the yard. Beyond that light was just blackness. I swept my flashlight across the trees. Nothing, but I suddenly had the overwhelming feeling that something was standing out there, watching me. I backed away from the doorway, then I walked quickly toward my cruiser. I didn't run, but I wanted to. I got inside, locked the doors, and grabbed the radio. Dispatch 14. This time, they answered immediately. 14, go ahead. I felt relieved just hearing another person. I'm at the residence. I'm not seeing any signs of forced entry. Actually, I'm not seeing signs anybody lives here at all. Can you confirm the address? There was silence. Then, 14, what residence? I stared through the windshield. The break-in call. Another pause. What break-in call? I remember my stomach tightening. The woman with the kids. Power out. Possible intruder inside. There was a longer silence this time. Then I heard another dispatcher in the background. My dispatcher came back over the radio. 14. We don't have any active calls at that location. I didn't answer. She continued. Who dispatched you? I actually laughed, not because anything was funny. It was that nervous kind of laugh you make when your brain is refusing to accept something. You did. No, sir. I looked at the house. The front door was still open, exactly where I had left it. Check the log. We are. Another pause. 14. There's nothing. No 911 call, no dispatch record, and you were never assigned to a call tonight. I felt cold. I asked about my backup. What backup? That was when I left. I didn't close the front door. I didn't investigate farther. I didn't get out of the cruiser again. I put it in reverse, turned around as fast as that narrow road allowed, and drove back toward the highway. I never filed a proper report about what happened. What was I supposed to write? That I responded to a call nobody made? That a dispatcher who swore she never spoke to me gave me an address to an abandoned house? The radio logs showed nothing. No original dispatch. No request for backup. Nothing. According to every official record, I had spent that part of my shift sitting alone on the side of the highway. Eventually, I convinced myself it was some equipment malfunction. Maybe another department bleeding onto our frequency. Maybe I had been half asleep. Maybe I dreamed part of it. Anything sounded better than the alternative. About a month later, I was home on my day off. I was sitting on the couch drinking coffee with the local news playing in the background when I heard the name of my department. I looked up. They were reporting that one of our officers had been found dead. Young guy, newer than me. He'd been missing since the night before. His cruiser had been found parked outside an abandoned house in the woods. Before they even showed the location, I knew. Same dirt road, same clearing, same house. They found him upstairs. No gunshot wounds, no stab wounds, no broken bones, no signs of a struggle, nothing. His weapon was still holstered. His flashlight was lying beside him. The medical examiner couldn't determine a clear cause of death. I called the department. I asked what brought him out there. Nobody knew. There was no call assigned to him, no dispatch record, nothing on the radio logs. His cruiser had simply left its patrol area sometime after 2 a.m, and somehow he ended up at that house. I never told anyone what happened to me, not officially. A few years later, the county tore the place down. I drove past once afterward. There's nothing there now, just trees and weeds. But sometimes late at night, I still think about that woman's voice I never actually heard. Locked upstairs with her children, whispering into a phone, begging someone to come help. And I think about that front door, how easily it opened, how I stood there with one foot almost across the threshold. For years, I wondered why that other officer died and I didn't. Maybe he went farther inside. Maybe he heard something upstairs. Maybe he thought the family was hiding. Maybe he heard a child crying. I don't know. But I know one thing. Whatever called me that night wanted me inside that house. And sometimes I wonder if it knew I would leave. Because every once in a while, even now when I'm half asleep, I swear I can hear a radio crackling somewhere in the room. And a woman's voice saying, Unit 14? We need you to respond.